everybody, and welcome in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Messiah. Today I want to talk about how God tries to speak to us in a way that we have all experienced. How many times have you said, "Something told me"? Okay, that's it. That right there is God trying to speak to you and help you in your life. Okay, here's a prime example. My business partner, we do construction, and last week, I believe it was, he was putting in a shower, a tile shower. He'd done all the tile, and you have to go back and grout. So he went back, he grouted, and he let it sit up for a little bit, and he said that he got distracted, and he let it sit up too long. And later on, and he had a terrible time with that tile job because the grout set up too long and it was hard to get off. So instead of getting the job done in one day, which he thought that he would, which was the plan, he had to go back a second day. And later on, he told me, something told me to go ahead and get that grout off and not let it set up too long. He said, something told me just go ahead and get that grout, go ahead and sponge that grout off. But he said he got distracted, didn't do it, and he had a terrible time with it. That right there is God trying to help you in your life. That right there was God would just, the word says that God has the numbers of your hairs. He knows the numbers of the hairs on your head. So he's very interested in your life. He's very interested in what goes on with you, and he tries to help you. He was trying to help my friend do that job. and I, I've had the same thing happen to me. I'm a painter. I'm the painter part of the team, and I was painting the outside of a house not long ago, and I have all these long rods. I have like a 16-foot rod and all these different rods that I used to reach high places. And this house was kind of a difficult house. It had some high peaks and everything. And thank God I was able to listen to him direct and guide me along painting that house. One thing I have, I had to climb a ladder on top of the screen porch that the people had to get to one of the eaves. But that was the last time I had to use a ladder. The rest of there was some high peaks in the house, but God directed me to tape my paintbrush onto the end of one of my paint sticks that extend out, and I was able to paint the rest of the house and reach all the high peaks on the rest of the eaves and everything without a ladder, and I was able to paint that whole house without a ladder, and it went so much quicker because I didn't have to use a ladder to paint that house. It was awesome. So God tries to help you in your life. Okay, here's a third example. I don't want to make this video too long. One Christmas, when I was living in Knoxville, Tennessee, I was going to get my son this particular coat. It was a starter jacket, a UT starter jacket, University of Tennessee. And I was asking people where to get one. They were telling me, oh, Easttown, Walmart over at Easttown's got a bunch of those things. So yeah, I head out. So while I'm driving a friend of mine's car. I think my truck was in for repair. I was driving a friend's car, and don't really remember why I was driving my friend's car. I think my truck was in repair. I'm not sure. But anyway, I was driving a friend's car, and on the way over there, the Lord was speaking into my spirit, in my thought life, that there's people that's not happy at Christmas time. And I says, oh, yeah, really, yeah. And he says, I got to be careful because there's some people just at Christmas time, they're not happy. I says, okay. So I got over there to Walmart, went in, I saw the rack of coats, and the Spirit of God spoke inside of me very distinctly to leave. And I wanted to be obedient. I wanted to walk in the Spirit, so I left. I felt like a fool. I left. So I went up the street to another store thinking that maybe that's the store I should have went to. Got to that store, they didn't have any coats at all that year. And I came out of that store feeling so stupid. And I drove back to the Walmart. So when I pulled up in the Walmart parking lot, I mean, this is like 3 or 4 days before Christmas. There's a lot of people. And they're all outside in the parking lot. All this big crowd of people from in the store is now outside in the parking lot. So when I got out of my vehicle, I asked one lady, I said, what's going on? She said this man just took his car and started ramming into other people's cars. And he had gone, he'd fled the scene. But, you know, that was just God, man. I mean, you know, I didn't have to go back and explain to my friend what happened to their car. You know, if it had gotten rammed, I was just taken completely out of the way. And that was just God. So I went in the store to get the coat. I got the coat. Everybody was outside. I went right through the checkout, right back to the car and home. And that's just one example. I think we had read 2 Corinthians chapter 12, and it talks about how these gifts of the Spirit, the ones I'm most familiar with, the word of wisdom, word of knowledge, and discernment of spirits, and all the 9 gifts can profit a man. And it's not talking about money. It's talking about it can save your life. It can save the life or the property of a friend. And it guides you along and tells you what to do in your everyday life. God's trying to help us. God wants to talk to us. He wants to bless us. He wants to love us. And he does speak to us. We just have to clue in on that something told me. That's not something. That's God speaking to you and telling you to do the right thing and to do a good thing. And there's nothing wrong with God helping you in your everyday life. In Jesus' name. Well, I hope that's been a help to someone. If it has been, please comment. Leave a comment. I want to hear your comments. So thank you so much for viewing, and I'll see you in the next one.